Hello indie game fans, after the busyness of the Steam Next Festival, here's a quick hit of hidden gems from September, beginning with RoboDunk, a game that is essentially roguelite NBA Jam, in which Lego-looking robots do battle on the field, and try to score as many points as possible. It is 2v2 action and has multiplayer support for up to 4 players, with the hook being that you do get upgrades roguelite style in between matches that allows you to fine-tune and upgrade your strategy, being an all-action title worth a look. The cozy life sim title Mineko's Night Market finally released after all these years, and hey, guess what, it's pretty alright and will be of interest to cozy game fans. Play as a young child who moves to this island, which is known for their night market, with the majority of time spent scavenging and collecting items to sell, but with a larger story of a mysterious sun-cat deity and men in black types that are looking for it. There's farming and fishing, although that's not the primary focus, but overall, it's a pretty chill and relaxing game. This video is brought to you by Anomaly Collapse, a turn-based roguelite RPG title set in a supernatural sci-fi world in which you face off against monstrous anomalies and try to uncover the secrets behind their existence. It has a self-described one-dimensional battlefield, meaning that combat takes place on a single plane with no depth or multiple lanes, but where positioning and the order of your characters matter, in which you have to use your trio of furry warriors strategically to take out these monsters in turn-based combat, with synergies between class abilities as well as inventory items being keys to victory. Beginning today, October 17th, they are launching a global playtest so you can try it out through Steam via the link in the description below, but you know the drill by now, wishlist the game if you find it interesting since it helps the developers. Additionally, the developers are holding an exclusive Steam gift card giveaway on Twitter/X, so go over there via the other link in the description to join the excitement. A game which wowed with its first impression is Railroads and Catacombs, since, of course, it does bear resemblance to Darkest Dungeon, and similarly, it's set in a world gone mad with all sorts of monstrosities lurking out there. Your train is your home base, which you're using to explore the world, venturing out to scavenge for resources and then heading back to upgrade, with the cart building twist being different. Yes, I said cart building and not deck building, since upgrading individual carts is critical to your success, but it needs more work in terms of overall polish and explanation of the systems, which is to be expected of an early access release, so let's hope they sort it out sooner rather than later. If you love puzzle platformers, I can recommend Ugly, and that's not just because they sponsored a video on the channel, but it's a real head scratcher with interesting mirror mechanics. You play as a tormented nobleman living in the basement of your family manor, where one day a magical mirror shard just so happens to fall into your lap, and you use its powers to get from one room to the next. You can find out more in my video on this game specifically, but the puzzles are clever and require some thinking, although it isn't mind-meltingly difficult, but the spooky vibes makes it worth a play in October if you have not. An excellent, if underrated, roguelite city builder is These Doomed Owls, in which you play as a god and have to lead your civilization to prosperity. This involves ensuring that they have enough to eat and enough resources to build, but also that they have enough weapons and deterrents against invading enemies. But if you do fail, it's one more run as you go again. The three gods do play differently, and the game has some fantastic pixel art, but do note that it's an early access release, although it's pretty good as of right now. If If you're this deep into a video on indie games, I'm betting that you love video games, so introducing Lock On Volume 6, the latest gaming journal/physical book all about video games that comes to us from the UK publisher Lost in Cult. Having physical video game stuff around the house is awesome, but if you're sick of figurines and CDs, how about a thoughtful book with this having 400 plus pages of awesome art, interviews, postmortems and more, with a giant 70-page feature on The Legend of Zelda and essays on Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask, Wind Waker, Twilight Princess, Breath of the Wild, Tales of the Kingdom and more, with gorgeous hardcover art on Final Fantasy, as well as the upcoming The Invincible 4D softcover edition. And for indies specifically, we have art and features on Cocoon, Doctonia, Alien Hominid and more, so pick up a copy via my affiliate link below. I was recently directed to a Reddit post from this developer who made the very bold choice of releasing Chillquarium on the same date as Starfield, which by conventional standards is a no-no, since why risk the potential conflict, but yet this idle game has been very successful. It's a title in which you're raising fish in real time to sell them for profit, and to expand your aquarium, having just chill vibes all around, and perhaps is on the polar opposite end of the spectrum as Bethesda's huge open world game, which might explain why it managed to get a foothold. Point-and-click adventure games have gotten a bad rap over the years due to some seemingly low-effort rubbish being churned out, but I can say that The Many Pieces of Mr. Cool is not one such game. It takes place in a surreal world in which our main character, Mr. Cool, has been split into 3 pieces in head, torso and legs, in which they have to work together to get through the level. There's a strange giant chicken and just weird stuff all around that is a complete trip, but the point-and-click puzzle-solving gameplay is good, so give this a go. Honestly, I did expect Umbrella to do much better in terms of sales, since this is the next game from the developer of the 1-bit black and white Metroidvania Gato Roboto, who has since been acquired by Devolver Wholesale, so I hope that at least the developer is financially secure, in which this action platformer with the titular Gun Umbrella is good and worth a play. You are seeking answers behind the death of your wife, having to battle all sorts of villains and horrible monsters, with common complaints being that it's a little generic and seems like a proof of concept of the main mechanic, so know that going in, but it's something new to mess around with.
Pushing it.
One of the most underrated indie game characters is Commander Video, which was actually one of my first encounters with an iconic character in indie games, even ahead of Shovel Knight and Splunky Guy back in 2012/2013, so of course BIT.TRIP Re-Runner nailed it for me, featuring returning rhythm runner mechanics in which you're jumping, kicking and sliding to the beat, with its share of new obstacles and hazards as well. Thankfully, they stuck with the side-scrolling perspective as compared to the 3D look of Runner 3, which made it difficult to judge distance, and this entry even comes with a level editor that allows you to create your own, although don't go expecting a community that is as vibrant as Mario Maker. This game has seemingly been everywhere, getting an excellent critical reception, in which El Paso Elsewhere is a third-person shooter that is like Max Payne, set in a supernatural world in which you need to defeat your ex to prevent the end of the world. And to me, even more interesting is this developer's way of making games sustainably, which is of note, with more of the best games of the month in this video.